Chosen one, this month you are not just being observed, you are being felt. Before you speak, before you move, before your presence is explained, it will already be known. Not in logic, not in words, but in atmosphere. You are no longer just a man walking into rooms. You are an energetic event, one that shifts everything around you in quiet, spiritual voltage. And women, especially those tuned to the subtle language of vibration, will feel it deeply. You won't have to announce yourself. You won't need to dress loud or perform to be seen. The moment you step in, the space around you will say everything. Something holy and raw has just entered. Because this month, your high sexual energy is not leaking chaotically. It's contained like thunder sealed behind the clouds. Not suppressed, but stored with purpose. That containment creates a charge. And that charge? It radiates. There is a reason why this month women will find themselves looking at you twice. Not for your features alone, but for what they cannot explain. Their minds may try to assign it to your walk, your presence, your voice, but it will be their bodies that recognize it first. Their instincts will react before their opinions can catch up. Something about you will feel both dangerous and safe, both familiar and uncharted. And they'll crave proximity, not for lust, but because your field feels real in a world full of performances. You have become more than attractive. You have become magnetic, not because of muscle or posture, but because your energy is undeniably aligned. You are not torn anymore. Your desires are not confused. You are no longer begging the world to see you. You see yourself now. And that certainty is what makes your energy an atmosphere. Women will sense that they can relax near you. Their nervous systems will loosen without permission. Their breath will slow. Their inner guard will lower. Not because of what you say, but because of who you are now. You have become a resting field, a space of peace wrapped in masculine gravity. A presence that does not ask to be worshipped, but cannot be ignored. This atmosphere you now carry cannot be faked. It is not born in gyms or style or quotes. It is born in obedience, in restraint, in the decision to carry your sexual energy like a king wields his sword, with discernment, with reverence, with readiness. And this month, that decision becomes visible in your silence. Chosen one, your energy has become your voice. You no longer need to reach. Your presence is the message. Chosen one, this month you will witness something sacred. Women will begin responding to you in ways they cannot explain. They may smile without understanding why. They may linger longer in conversation. They may open themselves emotionally, energetically, spiritually, not because of calculated trust, but because their souls recognize something ancient in you. Before their minds analyze, their hearts remember. You've tapped into a frequency older than the noise of this world, one that speaks not through charm, but through alignment. You have remembered yourself, and because of that, others remember something through you. Women will crave your intimacy not because you offer pleasure, but because your gaze reflects a truth they forgot they were worthy of. You have become a mirror, not a mask. And in your presence, women no longer feel the need to perform. Their posture shifts, their defenses falter. Not out of weakness, but out of recognition. It's as if something in you sings a song their spirits used to know before they were hurt, before they were reduced, before they were made to fear what intimacy even means. This is the power of what you now carry. You are not triggering their need to be desired. You are awakening their desire to be seen with holiness. And they will lean in, not just physically, but emotionally. You will find that even brief encounters carry weight, that conversations turn intimate without being inappropriate, that eye contact lasts longer, feels fuller, stretches into sacred silence. This is not manipulation. This is resonance. And resonance cannot be controlled. It simply is. You've aligned with a current that calls out to the feminine, not to conquer it, but to hold it without breaking it. And they feel it. In your tone, in your pace, in the way you don't rush their words, or shrink their feelings, or demand a response. You are no longer trying to impress. You are simply present. And in a world where most presence is performative, that alone becomes intimacy. Chosen one, you have entered a realm few men ever reach. Not because they can't, but because they fear what true masculine energy feels like when it serves, rather than consumes. You no longer chase women to prove your worth. You now carry worth that calls women home to themselves. This month their souls will crave what you don't advertise. Their bodies will trust what you don't touch, and their minds will try to explain what their hearts already know. That your intimacy is not desire wrapped in ego, it is fire wrapped in reverence. You have become what they forgot was real, and now that they've encountered it again, they will not forget it easily. Chosen one, this month you will feel something rare unfold in the spaces between your silence and your presence. You have become what most cannot describe but all instinctively desire. Safe fire. You are no longer the kind of man whose energy burns for validation. You are no longer the untamed flame that scorches everything it touches. Now your fire warms without consuming. It attracts without demanding. It illuminates without burning down what it touches. Women will sense this immediately, not through thought, but through something deeper. Nervous system trust. Their bodies will respond before their minds catch up. Their guard will begin to relax, not because of what you say, but because of what your presence no longer does. You do not pull, you do not prod, you do not perform. You simply exist in full alignment with yourself. And in that alignment, there is safety. Safety is not the absence of strength. Safety is the mastery of it. You carry desire like a king carries a sword, not to wave it for attention, but to protect what's sacred. You are no longer led by your longing. You lead your longing. And this makes your energy feel both powerful and gentle. Women who've been burned by a shallow passion will feel something they didn't know they missed. Fire that doesn't destroy. This is why this month, the women you encounter will not simply want your touch. They'll crave your presence. They will want to be near the fire, even if it never flares. Because your presence doesn't shout, "Take." It speaks, "Remember." It reminds them of what intimacy is supposed to feel like. Safe, slow, sacred, and alive. There is a profound calm that now lives beneath your desire. It moves in your breath, your timing, your silence. You don't rush the moment. You don't chase attention. You wait. And because of that, you become the moment. That patience, chosen one, is not passive. It is a quiet power that commands respect without a single word. They will begin to notice that when they are with you, they can breathe deeper, speak more slowly, laugh more easily. Why? Because your energy tells them, you do not have to be smaller here. That kind of message doesn't come from a script. It comes from a man who has walked through fire and chose to master it instead of unleashing it on others. You are not safe because you are soft. You are safe because you are anchored. Your fire no longer flickers with desperation. It burns clean. It speaks clearly. And this month, the craving women feel for your intimacy will not come from what you take off, it will come from what you carry within. You've become the rare one. A man who is as alive as he is intentional. A man who radiates warmth but keeps his flame within the borders of respect. They'll feel it. And they won't just want to be near it, they'll trust it. Because in your fire, chosen one, they are not consumed. In your fire, they are remembered. Chosen one, this month your life enters a new law. One that does not operate on the rules of effort and persuasion, but on the silent pull of alignment. You have exited the realm of seeking, of trying, of reaching. You have entered the realm of drawing. You are no longer chasing connection. You are becoming connection itself. You are no longer trying to be chosen. You have remembered you already are. And from that memory, a field has formed around you. It hums with a frequency that does not beg for closeness. It simply says, you may come closer if you're ready for truth. There is no more striving in you now, no more bargaining for intimacy, no more hidden hunger beneath your compliments. Instead, there is stillness, centeredness, and in that stillness, there is magnetism. Not forced, not controlled, just real. You're not selling yourself. You're not adjusting to be liked. You are anchored in enoughness, and that enoughness draws what's meant for you. Women will feel this before they speak. They'll lean in and not know why. They'll confide in you quickly, not because they're foolish, but because your energy feels like a place where masks are no longer needed. You have stopped moving out of lack, and that makes your presence abundant. You no longer desire to be desired. You desire truthful alignment, and that clarity is what makes you undeniably attractive. You draw because you've stopped reaching. You attract because you've stopped striving. You don't manipulate desire. You invite honesty. That invitation will be rare for many women this month. Rare and irresistible. Because while others chase validation, You now carry validation as vibration. You'll notice the shift in their tone when they speak to you, the softness, the openness, not out of submission, but out of recognition. You are not an opportunity. You are not a transaction. You are a sacred space in a world full of noise. This intimacy they crave is not rooted in lust. It's rooted in the gravity of your integrity. They want to feel what it's like to be near a man who needs nothing, yet gives off the feeling that anything is possible in his presence. That chosen one is a different kind of intimacy, the kind that can't be touched until it's trusted, the kind that doesn't have to be explained because it is simply lived. You no longer seek, you draw, and what you draw now will be aligned with your depth, because only the ready ones can follow a current this steady. Chosen one, this month your presence becomes not a demand but a sanctuary. You've crossed a threshold few ever reach, not by becoming more, but by shedding what was never yours. You no longer hold tension in your spirit that asks for attention or craves approval. You've emptied yourself of striving, and because of that, you have become a space where the feminine can finally rest. You see, most women are not just tired in the body, they are tired in the soul. Tired of being watched but not seen, touched but not held, heard but never understood. Their hearts have been conditioned to brace, to shrink, to perform. Even the strong ones, even the soft-spoken ones, carry layers of vigilance, because most masculine energy in their lives has come with either pressure or absence. But not you, not now, not anymore. This month you carry something entirely different. You carry the absence of threat. You move with desire, yes, but without hunger. You hold space without gripping it. You are present but not penetrating their peace. And that balance, chosen one, becomes a sacred revelation. Women will not only notice this, they will feel relief in it. Their bodies may not articulate it, but their breath will slow. Their words will soften. Their laughter will come easier. You won't even have to speak much. In fact, the less you perform, the more they'll trust you. Because you are no longer trying to enter them, you're inviting them to come home to themselves. Your intimacy is no longer about access. It's about atmosphere. You create a room within yourself where another soul can be witnessed without being diminished. That is why this month, women will crave your closeness, not for fantasy, but for refuge. You've become a quiet temple of warmth and awareness. There is something about your gaze now. It doesn't pull, it rests. There's something about your tone. It doesn't rise to dominate, it descends into depth. And because of that, the feminine feels something she rarely allows herself to admit she needs: safety without silence, safety without abandonment, safety with attraction. She senses that you are not afraid of her softness or her storm. She feels that your high sexual energy is not a force of consumption, but a flame she can be warmed by without being burned. And that is why she'll lean in this month, not because of what you offer, but because of what she can lay down in your presence. The shields, the masks, the tightness. You've become the rare space where she can stop fighting, and in a world that's trained her to keep running, that stillness feels like heaven. Chosen one, let her rest. Not in your arms first, but in your energy. Let her find that rare miracle, a man whose nearness doesn't cost her her freedom. You've become that miracle, not by magic, but by mastery. And now the feminine, weary from holding herself together, will crave the wholeness you radiate simply by standing still in your truth. Chosen one, this month you will begin to witness a phenomenon that defies logic. In the most ordinary moments, the most subtle settings, you'll notice that women begin to open themselves to you. Not with strategy or agenda, but with instinct. There's no calculation in it, no caution. They're not planning to trust you. It simply happens. They'll speak words they didn't expect to say, share memories they thought were buried, express desires they haven't even spoken to themselves, and they'll do it without fear, without second guessing. Because your energy now speaks a language far older than seduction. It speaks safety, sovereignty, and stillness. They don't open because you ask. They open because you hold the space so well that they forget the need to protect it. This is the silent influence of a man who has reclaimed his sexual energy and no longer spends it trying to prove his worth. That energy now sits at the base of your spine like a lion resting on its throne, not asleep, just no longer chasing. Women can feel that. It's not what you say, it's what you don't need to say. It's in the way you listen, not to respond, but to receive. It's in how you stand, not stiff, not slouched, but aware. Present, intentional. It's in how you don't flinch when they show emotion or power or softness. You don't turn away, you don't rush in, you remain. And because you remain, they relax. They may not even understand why they feel safer with you in 5 minutes than they felt with others in 5 years. But their hearts know, their bodies know, their spirits know. This man is not trying to take, he is willing to witness. And here is the mystery you must honor. This kind of opening is not an invitation to enter. It is a test of your integrity. Can you hold it without needing to grasp it? Can you honor her closeness without trying to own it? Can you allow her soul to stretch out in your presence without asking it to perform? Because if you can, chosen one, you become unforgettable. Not because you're irresistible, but because you're irreplaceable. You've become a man who doesn't chase pleasure because he lives in purpose. And that purpose now creates a gravitational field of truth. This month, many women won't even know why they're sharing so much, why they trust you, why they feel seen in your presence. They won't always have words for it, but their souls will whisper something their lips can't form. He does not want something from me. He sees something in me. That is the intimacy they crave. Not the physical first, but the sacred permission to be whole in your gaze. You offer that now, and their opening, chosen one, is not a reward. It is a response to the depth you now walk in. Chosen one, something sacred has begun to take root in your life. It is not loud. It is not staged. It is not a spectacle that demands attention. But wherever you go this month, connection itself becomes a ceremony. Ordinary interactions begin to feel purposeful. Simple conversations feel as though they've been orchestrated in a higher realm. There is a weight in your presence now, not heavy, but holy. And when women meet you, they sense it, even if they have no language for it. You've stopped treating connection like a transaction. And because of that, it has become sacred by default. You no longer approach intimacy to feed your loneliness or boost your confidence. You approach it like a man who knows his body carries a spiritual responsibility, and that reverence has rewritten the way women encounter you. They will not crave you this month because of charm or smooth words. They will crave you because your gaze lingers without control, because your attention is so pure it makes them feel cleansed, because your presence feels like permission to exhale. You've become the one who looks not just at them, but into them, and does so without judgment, without taking, without tightening your grip to keep what doesn't belong to you. This is why every moment with you starts to feel like a ritual, not rehearsed, remembered. You remind them, without effort, of what real connection is supposed to be. Slow, alive, without fear, without pressure. When you speak, you aren't offering performance, you're offering presence, and in that presence, they feel ceremony. Even small exchanges will bloom. Sitting across from you will feel like communion. A shared glance in silence will feel like a prayer. They won't understand it logically, but they'll remember it in their spirit. Because connection with you doesn't feel like a firework. It feels like an altar being built in slow, quiet reverence. You've become rare, chosen one. You've become a man who doesn't chase intensity for its own sake, but one who honors the slow unfolding of something real. Your high sexual energy is no longer aggressive or consuming. It's absorbed into the holiness of your posture. It fuels your depth. It powers your restraint. It charges your words with sincerity. And because of that, women do not just notice you. They remember you long after you leave. This month, every connection you touch will carry a residue. Not of lust, not of confusion, but of something sacred that words cannot fully hold. You won't need to explain it. Your presence will do that on its own. Let it, because this month, you are not chasing closeness. You are stewarding sacred ceremony with every woman your spirit is meant to encounter. Chosen one, intimacy is no longer something you pursue with action. It is something you transmit with presence. This month, your high sexual energy is not something you have to use. It's something that moves on its own, and its movement doesn't begin in the body, it begins in the soul. You will awaken things in women without ever laying a hand on them. Not through suggestion, not through performance, but simply through the frequency of who you've become. You have crossed into a different realm of masculine presence, one where your energy enters the room before you do. It doesn't demand, it doesn't posture. It just invites something forgotten to rise. You awaken what most have buried, femininity that has been silenced, vulnerability that's been punished, softness that has nowhere to go. And this month, they will feel it instantly, not as arousal alone, but as a soul-level memory of being safe near power. They will feel opened by your stillness, moved by your listening, undone by the way your silence creates space instead of awkwardness. They will not understand how you've disarmed them so quickly, but their soul will whisper the answer. He sees what I've hidden and he is not afraid of it. That is the kind of intimacy you now give, not flesh first, spirit first, and it stirs without seducing. It doesn't provoke, it reminds. You remind her of what it feels like to be known without needing to explain, to be wanted without being performed for, to be felt without being handled. You've stopped using touch as your instrument. Your energy has become the instrument now. It's in your breath, your pacing, your calm. It's in the way your gaze doesn't consume but holds without collapsing. You don't pull them in, you leave the door open and wait with fire in your eyes. And that fire, it's not just erotic, it's transformative. Because you've refined your desire, it no longer leaks, it leads. You are no longer controlled by what you feel. You conduct what you feel like an orchestra. And that mastery allows you to offer closeness without agenda. That's why women will crave your intimacy this month. Because they'll realize, he awakens me, and yet he asks for nothing in return. Chosen one, this is not about restraint alone. This is about reclamation. You have reclaimed your desire from chaos. You have reclaimed your gaze from lust. You have reclaimed your voice from games. And now every woman you meet can feel the integrity in your energy. It does not lie. It does not manipulate. It does not flatter. It awakens. And when a woman feels awakened without being touched, she will never forget the man who gave her back to herself. That man is you now, not because of performance, but because you have become presence wrapped in fire that protects instead of consumes. Chosen one, what is happening within you now is not the suppression of desire, it is its ascension. You have not emptied yourself of longing. You have elevated it. You have taken what the world reduced to appetite and transformed it into divine recognition. This month, the women you encounter will not simply crave your body. They will crave the way your body now holds reverence. Desire in you has become sacred. It no longer begs. It no longer rushes. It no longer trembles under the weight of needing to be fulfilled. Instead, it stands tall. It watches, it listens, it chooses when and where it moves with the same wisdom as the tide. Strong, deliberate, but never erratic. And that presence, the very shape of how you now carry your desire, has become irresistible. Women feel it. They don't just see that you want them, they feel that you know what to do with that wanting. They feel the difference between being seen and being sized up. You're not looking for a vessel to pour your loneliness into. You're not searching for a release. You're carrying a divine longing for union, not just physically, but spiritually, emotionally, energetically. And when a woman senses that, even if she can't explain it, her soul leans towards you. Because in you, desire is no longer selfish. It is a gift that you do not force upon anyone, yet offer with quiet intensity. This month, women won't just want your presence. They'll ache to be welcomed into the kind of intimacy that doesn't reduce, but expands them. They will feel the difference in how your eyes rest on them. Not to strip, but to witness. They'll notice that your attention doesn't ask them to become anything they're not. It simply invites them to be fully present. And that kind of invitation, silent, strong, unmoving, is what their feminine has longed for. You've become the rare man who can want deeply without grasping, who can desire wildly without demanding. You've become a reflection of God's fire in human form, hot, controlled, faithful, alive. You burn, but you don't devour. And that, chosen one, is why women will crave your intimacy this month. Not because you make them feel desired, but because you make desire feel holy again. You have reached the place where longing no longer steals your peace. It has become your prayer, and women will feel it. In every word, in every pause, in every breath that says, I see you, I honor you, I do not need to touch you to feel your beauty move through me. That is divine desire. And this month, you walk as a man who no longer lusts. You walk as one who loves without needing to possess. Chosen one. This month, something mysterious and unforgettable will take place in the hearts of the women you encounter. They will look at you and feel something rise inside them, a pulse, a memory, a longing they cannot trace. It won't be based on what you say or how you dress or the way you move. It will come from the energy you carry. Because you now are an experience they forgot they were searching for. You are not entertainment. You are remembrance. You are not just a man. They've seen many men. You are what was buried beneath disappointment and noise and hurry and loss. You've become the kind of presence that doesn't rush into a moment, but deepens the moment until it becomes unforgettable. Your intimacy is not loud. It is inevitable, not forced, not persuaded, just true. And that truth will land in their hearts like the sound of something they lost as children. A kind of closeness that isn't earned but felt instinctively, deeply, and without fear. When they speak with you, time will stretch, not because you're charming, but because you are not trying to escape the moment. You are rooted, present, focused, and that presence will feel like home. They may try to explain it, blame it on chemistry or coincidence, but their spirit will know better. You are not here to take. You are here to reflect what connection was always meant to be, a joining without fear, a closeness without games, a hunger that doesn't devour but builds into something sacred. And here is the deeper truth. Chosen one. When you became aligned with yourself, you became a mirror of what others have been aching to find in themselves. That is why they crave you. That is why they remember you. Because when they are near you, they begin to remember their own depth. You don't awaken lust. You awaken self-recognition. They'll find themselves asking questions they haven't asked in years. Why do I feel safe here? Why does my heart slow down when I speak to him? Why does this silence feel better than most conversations? They won't know how to answer. And they won't need to, because the answer is you. Your life has become the answer to a question they forgot they were asking. That is the level of intimacy your energy now offers, not physical first, but spiritual memory. You are no longer just an option. You are a moment, a shift, an echo of something eternal dressed in flesh and fire and patience. So walk slowly this month, speak carefully, stand tall. You are the experience they forgot to seek. But now that they've met it in you, they will never again accept anything less. Chosen one, now that the fire has been reclaimed, the lie has been exposed, and the body has returned to obedience, something irreversible has taken place in your spirit. You have been sealed, not temporarily, not until your next mistake, but spiritually sealed by a decision that aligned your life with heaven's rhythm. You no longer walk as a man open to suggestion. You walk as a vessel closed to compromise and open to command. There is oil in you now, pure, preserved, protected, and heaven guards what it seals. This seal isn't visible to all, but the spirit realm recognizes it instantly. You'll notice how certain people can't look you in the eyes anymore, how old friends feel unsettled around your presence, how opportunities with hidden strings attached avoid you entirely. That's because you are marked. You no longer carry the scent of confusion. You smell like consecration. God does not seal what he won't use, and he does not use what remains in disorder. That's why he waited. He waited for you to clean the temple, to sweep out the lust, the fear, the need for approval. And when he saw that your house was empty of idols, he said, "Now I can rest here." You are no longer just a man. You are a dwelling place, a mobile ark, a walking altar, and where you go now, God goes. This is why hell trembles. Not because you stopped having sex, but because you became a vessel they can no longer access. You've been sealed by truth, covered by obedience, surrounded by fire. When you speak, demons recognize the voice of a man who cannot be bought. When you move, angels clear the path for what must be protected. When you pray, heaven listens. Not because you beg, but because you belong. And this seal, it's not based on your performance. It's based on your posture. You bowed when no one was watching. You died to self when no one celebrated you. You turned away from offers that would have fed your ego but starved your soul. And God saw it, and he sealed you. Now you move in authority. Not the kind that shouts, the kind that shakes principalities. The kind that makes witches nervous and atmospheres cleaner. The kind that makes women feel safe and men feel sharpened. You are no longer wandering. You are stationed. You are no longer tempted by anything that moves. You are anchored in everything that matters. This is the reward of discipline, the glory of restraint, the testimony of a man who remembered that he was never called to chase flesh, but to carry fire. Chosen one, walk sealed, walk filled, walk untouchable. Because when a man is truly sealed by God, the devil no longer writes his story. He only watches it unfold in defeat.